in the screen?
Yeah, right in the middle. And it's recording. You're not smiling.
Well, I'm not ready to shoot yet. Hey everyone, FG here again. This is something that I usually don't do, but I'm going to try something a little different. I'm actually going to show you an unboxing, which I usually don't bother with. So these are the Z1 shock absorber skids, and here's how they came packaged. This nice, fairly rigid foam piece here on top. Just a regular cardboard box, nothing unusual. Let me jump back over here and pull that out of the way. I like how they did this, though. It's pretty nice. As you'll see in the video here in a moment, which obviously is only going to be a moment or two your time, but is actually over a week since I got around to this. I'm just filming this first, actually, out of order a little bit. And let me pan down here, so that's why this side is empty, but there obviously used to be one. So yeah, this is how they shipped them, and these are carbon steel, so it's not like you're really going to beat them up. Actually, they're made to be beat up. They're shock skids, so they're going to be underneath the truck, and they're going to get whacked when you hit something hard. That's kind of their whole reason for existence. But here, let me go ahead and pull this out. Hopefully, I can do that without bouncing everything around too much. Yeah, there we are. And so there's the piece. As you can see, they are quite beefy. It's very nice, heavy. And they made these out of carbon steel, just plain carbon steel, which was pretty smart on their part. You might be asking, okay, I'm not sure I completely understand why. Well, carbon steel is very easy to weld. So if you have a really damaged shock mount, like you'll see in the latter part of the video, like I do, if you watch the trail video from AOAA, you'll see some of that damage that I incurred. Yeah, that was a tough trip. Anyway, so if you had a mount that was so badly damaged, these could actually be used to completely replace the factory mount. As you can see, they're actually cut to the radius here, properly fitted to the axle, so you could just grind off this portion of the coating if you needed to. And then just actually, if you're good enough with your own welding skills, or take it to a shop and have it welded, and they could go ahead and connect that for you. And then give me a minute here, and I'll get the hardware out. Okay, yeah, and here's a close-up. So it comes with these two as well. These are the last pieces of hardware that it also ships with, which are what's in these baggies. And I think they said these are stainless steel. I believe they are, because they don't look like they're coated. And these are pretty nice. You can see right on here, it tells you what the torque rating is supposed to be for the bolts very clearly, 148 foot-pounds, very nice. And this just slips in here like this. Let me see if I can give you a side view. Yeah, there we are. So that pokes through. So the factory shock mount basically goes from here to, I guess, about over here, right? And goes in between here. So these are spacers, obviously. Flip it back over again to keep this from compressing too far when you put that 148 foot-pounds on it. And also these are recessed, as you can see. You can actually still use your original shock bolts if you want to, or Z1 actually sells replacements as well. And they fit down in here. So that protects them from impacts as well, that the head of the bolt wouldn't get sheared off or anything like that. The only downside that anybody had kind of made a observation about, and I understand their observation, I would say it's valid, but most likely probably not going to happen in the real world, is if you got the bolt head stripped really badly, and it was so beat up that you weren't even able to hammer a socket onto there to get that off, trying to extract a bolt that's down in here in this little valley. Yeah, that could be a bit of a challenge. But other than that, I think these are really good. They seem to be very well engineered. When you get onto the axle itself, you'll find that on one of the mounting positions, there is a bolt which goes through the side here that holds, I think it's the parking brake cable. I have to go back and look again, but I'm pretty sure it was the parking brake cable. And so they made this oval here, not only for a place for that bolt to fit back through again, but also to give a second mounting position for this guy. Although once it's in place, this is tight up against the axle tube, tight enough that you're not going to have really any problem with this thing trying to rotate, even if it did take a hit. So yeah, these are pretty thick. I didn't actually weigh what this thing is, but I'm going to say it's probably at least a couple of pounds. Let me give you a view here of the wall. That's yeah, it's pretty hefty. I got these on sale. I am not being paid by Z1 or anything like that. I'm not a paid spokesman. I don't get any discounts, anything other than what everyone else does, although I did get these on sale. If I recall right, a regular price, I think they're $200, which some people would probably say, ooh, that's a little steep. And yeah, in one way I would agree with that, but this is a very custom fitted part. You know, it's really made specifically for one vehicle only, and as we unfortunately as Frontier fans are aware of, there's not a whole lot of aftermarket compared to what's going on with Jeep and Toyota, where there's just tons of companies that are hopping in that are always very well willing to make something for us. So obviously that limits our choices, and so it is nice at least that some companies are still thinking about us, and Z1 is one of the big ones in that market. So anyway, without belaboring the point, I'm going to jump over to the install part of the video, which actually was not filmed on the day that I'm filming this, but with the magic of digital technology, everything gets stitched together. So see you in a moment. Okay, so as I mentioned, here we are, and here is the shock mount armor. A closer view there. It fits up pretty nicely here against the axle tube, and it's got these what they call castles or citadels here, where the bolt sits inside of to protect it from getting sheared off. And since these are gas charged struts, I had to go ahead and put a bottle jack underneath the ear to keep it from moving, because when it extended, it pushed itself down like this, and I was able to, with quite a bit of effort, forcibly lift the shock back up into place just using my arm. Because, you know, leverage when you're laying on your back is not so great, and I'm certainly not the strongest individual on the planet. But then there was no way to wrestle with that and keep it from popping out of place while attempting to install this thing, which is actually in 3 pieces, plus you've got a bolt and nuts, and now you have 5 that you're juggling. So I went ahead and put the jack there, and since the bolt is actually now installed, pressure out of the jack and let that come down, get it out of the way. This jack has a maximum lifting height of 18 and something or other inches rated, but I wasn't tall enough. So I had to put some cribbing underneath to get the height to get it far enough up to hit the bolt. So there we are, and that's installed. And so I'm going to go ahead and tighten those up to spec, and for this side that's basically it. Now let me pan over here. Let me see if I can get you a better view. The other side is really mangled. We talked about that in one of the earlier videos, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to straighten that. It's pretty bad, and this new shock armor fits pretty tightly. So if that thing's not exactly straight, I don't think there's going to be any way to install it. Now these are pretty hefty. Let me give you a view there of the edge. That metal's pretty solid. These are actually designed as a secondary, if you need to be actually able to completely replace the original shock mount with one of these, and I might have to do that because this is so mangled. To either find another original that's not bent and have a shop weld that on, or to go ahead and just cut that off completely. remove the welds, and then have a shop take this guy right here. This is just powder coat, so that could be ground off on the back end back here, and then just lay a fillet right across here, right into the axle tube, and repair it that way. So we're gonna have to see what I'm gonna do with that. So for this project, it's only gonna be the one side right now. I just wanted to see how everything fit together, and basically get an idea of how this thing was constructed, and if it really looked like it was going to do what it needed to do. And yeah, it seems pretty solid. All right, and here we are. Everything's tightened up. Some good torque on the bolts here. Let's see if I can slide here without jostling the camera too much and give you a little bit of a panorama there. Now, the lighting under here isn't super fantastic because, well, I'm underneath the truck. So there we go. Come around to the front. Show you how it wraps around. See, it really's got a nice, good, smooth finish here. Underneath is quite sturdy. It should take quite a hit. Should reduce the amount of damage, or hopefully remove that possibility completely. And you might be wondering why this looks so weird. The shock bolt up here, well, that's actually a shock absorber extension that I detailed in another video. It brings the shock up, so it, from the shock absorber standpoint, the truck is shorter. So you can pan up and see if I can get, yeah, there's the upper bolt, right? So even though it's lifted, this brings the shock over more to the center range of where it should be running as far as up travel, down travel. So that's what those are for. And so that ends this video. Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe and like button. And until next time, go out and get her muddy. There's definitely a big world out there to explore. And now that we've gotten back all of our freedoms that we lost for that 2 or 3 year period, well, take advantage of it. Go out and see the world. Till next time, FG out.